Welcome to Tailboard Training. If this was Hollywood, I would say pull up some diamond plate and have a seat, but it's not. Tailboard Training is a series where we'll cover short topics, both to inform, instruct, or both, and hopefully stimulate conversation amongst the shifts. And hopefully it will create meaningful discussion and stimulate further training. Today, I'd like to discuss the concept of flip training, which will likely fill in the blanks on how we're going to approach training as a department. Most of us are very comfortable with the traditional classroom, instructor at the front giving a lecture, while students either revel in the information presented, while others Facebook, text, nap, or wish they were anywhere but the training. And upon conclusion of that lecture, we go out and do whatever hands-on training might be appropriate. With jokes and sarcasm aside, this format is still practical, however, not in all circumstances. Let's consider, for example, ground ladders. For our target audience today, we have a department wholly made up of certified firefighters, or firefighters that have been with us for some time. What is the measurable difference gained between spending an hour or more recovering material in a book, which of course is important, mind you, or being able to demonstrate that material by actually throwing ground ladders? With flip training, students are provided with all the information up front and are able to spend time with the material prior to the group coming together. Let's take a look at a short video that will help explain flip training.
Welcome to Flip Training.
Over the next 15 minutes, we're going to examine what that means, how it works, and why you've been eagerly awaiting this learning style your whole life and just didn't know it. Let's start with the why.
How do I know? And a lot of times when people hear the phrase, how do I know, the next thing they say is what? How do I know what? But the key really isn't to know what, the key is to know why. Because when you know your why, you have options on what your what can be. For instance, my why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. My what is stand-up comedy. My what is writing books. My what can be going out with some friends to eat. In fact, another what that has moved me towards my why is a web series that we have out now called Break Time. So every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, you should subscribe to the channel. We do a series called Break Time on YouTube. So 3 o'clock, we drop a new episode. One episode in particular, I'm about to show you a clip to. We were in Winston-Salem. So Break Time, this is how it works. I travel the country, I do stand-up comedy, probably an hour, hour and a half at an event. And in the middle of my show, I'll just sit down and start talking to the audience. And funny just happens. Or I'll meet somebody who's really interesting. So I met this one guy, and he said that he teaches music at a school. I was like, all right, you teach music, you know, can you sing? And then I'm just gonna show you the clip. Check it. So you're a musical director. Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow. That bro could sing, you know what I'm saying? All right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Right now I'm found, was blind, but now I I see.
So here's the thing. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time I asked him to sing, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what has more impact because you're walking in or towards your purpose.
Traditional firefighting was fine when all we did was put the wet stuff on the hot stuff and used little more than a pry bar and a sledgehammer to extricate someone from an MVC. Then came things like airbag systems, defibs, hazmat, tech rope.
Find space rescue.
Wildland firefighting.
Litter rescue.
Hazmat.
Fire science.
Forcible entry.
Fireground survival.
Swiftwater rescue.
Story protection.
Fire ventilation.
Special ops. Health and safety.
Infection control. Marine operations.
Search and rescue.
Structural collapse.
Wave rescue.
New vehicle technology.
The simple truth is that today firefighters are challenged with more skills than we could have ever imagined 30 years ago. And the training methods of yesterday just aren't enough anymore. Enter flip training. Flip training is a cooperative learning process that encourages student participation. It allows firefighters to train in small groups with guidance from an instructor while at the same time ensuring that the training and the message is consistent across all platforms. If you've come across flip training before, you may have the impression that flip training is self-directed training from videos and online learning, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Properly implemented flip training allows self-paced learning reinforced by instructors who will now have greater time for one-on-one or small group interaction. Flip training allows more time for different learning styles and has been shown to increase knowledge retention by over 40%. 40%! Wouldn't you like to be 40% better at everything you do? 40% stronger, 40% faster, catch 40% more fish, 40% better at putting out fires, 40% better at saving lives. If you give 100% right now during emergency response, how much better will you be when you can give 140%? And as a bonus, no more sitting through endless hours of boring lectures, at the end of which you're not even sure if you understood even half of what was being said in the first place. To us at Barry Fire, flip training will help to ensure that a consistent message is dispersed evenly among different platoons and crews. It's a process where learning content is archived for later reference and review, thus helping to improve retention skills. It's a classroom where those who are absent or sick due to sickness or vacation don't get left in the dark. A training environment where the learners get to solidify their knowledge by sharing what they have learned with others. A classroom where the instructor is not the center of attention, but rather the guide on the side. Training sessions where small groups practice what they have learned together. It addresses a greater variety of learning styles and increases hands-on training by decreasing lecture time. The concept is very simple and has been used by educational institutions for many years. Much of it we already do, and for the most part it's simply a question of some minor restructuring of the process by which training is imparted to the student. Like any other training we perform, we will first be provided with the learning objectives and expected outcomes, the why, the how, and the what. Next, we will watch a short video or presentation that specifically addresses the topic at hand. Given the attention span of the average firefighter, this would be no more than 3 to 5 minutes. It could be anything, from Stu and Pete demonstrating how to seal a 500-gallon tank of diesel fuel, to Todd presenting a PowerPoint on T-factor formulas for mechanical advantage haul systems. Then, once a base level of understanding has been obtained, opportunity is provided for practice in small groups under the guidance of a knowledgeable instructor. The flip training session starts with a review of the subject matter video. If preferred, this can be done on the previous shift. Prior to commencement of practicals, the instructor will outline objectives and points of safety. It is, however, one of the learners who will be tasked with conducting the training evolution. The instructor, in effect, becomes the guide on the side, providing insight and guidance where needed. All three learners will have started with the same knowledge. However, the learner tasked with instructing his colleagues is provided opportunity to further entrench what he has learned by the simple act of directing others in the drill to be performed, all under the watchful eye of the more experienced captain, STI, or training officer.
You see, with flip training, I'll ask you to spend some time with the material before we come together. And then, when we are able to come together, we're able to focus on what matters most, and that's the hands-on practical training of our job. You know, the element that excites me the most is being able to learn from each other. You see, each of us are going to find different parts, which we find more important to us than what someone else may find. When we come together for the flip training, we'll be able to bring all that information together and provide for a deeper level of thought and learning for a wider and deeper level. For some, I know this is going to be a new road and difficult to travel, while others have been wanting this type of training for a while now. And remember, this is our training program, and we can set it up any way that meets our needs at the West Buncombe Fire Department. To make that happen, I'll be seeking and desiring your constructive feedback. If you have an idea or a topic for tailboard training, or would like your firehouse debut, you know where to find me. Until next time, be safe, look out for one another, train hard, and have a little fun doing it. Thank you for joining me on Tailboard Training. See you next time.